and welcome back to The Charismatic Voice. Today I will be talking about how you actually make a sound with your voice. Now I am going to be getting into science and physics, so this is for the people who want to know physiologically, how do you vocalize? There are 3 steps to creating a sound. Number 1, breath. Think of this like the energy for a vocal motor, like putting gas in your car. Number 2, phonation. This is the engine of the voice and the key to a well-running vehicle. Number 3, resonance. Think of this like the body of a car or the paint job or the rims. This is like the added beauty that brings expression and character. For the rest of this video, I'm going to go into detail about these 3 steps. Many people believe that the diaphragm is solely responsible for breath, and that is only partially true. The diaphragm is a specialized muscle which sits beneath your rib cage. When you inhale, the center of the diaphragm goes down, which causes your lungs to expand. Now we know that the diaphragm is a muscle, and we know that muscles only contract in one direction. So we also know that the diaphragm is only responsible for breathing in. To exhale, the diaphragm has to relax. If a person wants to control the breath out, they need to engage a whole slew of other muscles, which will slow down the gradually rising diaphragm. This includes engaging your pelvic floor muscles, your intercostals, your scalene muscles, and a whole bunch of others. Okay, I know that talking doesn't always help a person fully understand a subject, so let's try it. To feel your diaphragm, try taking a deep breath in through a straw. You should feel a deepening and expanding around your waist, which is your diaphragm. Now to feel your support muscles engage, try making a very pressurized S sound out for about 20 seconds. You might feel some lower muscles engage, which are your support and connection for healthy singing and speaking. That column of air is going to exit through the trachea, the tube that connects your lungs to your mouth, and come in contact with the larynx. The larynx is also sometimes referred to as your voice box. Hooray! We made it to the voice! In your larynx are the vocal cords, which are sometimes also called the vocal folds. These shape the air and create a pitch. Your vocal folds are 2 mucous membranes that stretch across the laryngeal cavity. I'll be going into more details about laryngeal anatomy in another video, but for now it's important to know that there's lots of cartilage and ligaments and goo and even a little muscle in there. So remember that physics class in school, the one where you learned that sound is perceived according to your ear's reaction to variations in air pressure? Yeah, there were those things called sound waves that really actually looked exactly like waves, but were actually graphs of air compression and rarefaction, and the size of the wave was related to how loud it was, and more importantly for our discussion today, how often a wave goes completely up and down in one entire cycle. That determines the pitch. Yeah, that's right. The entire purpose of our vocal cords is to manipulate air pressure. Your vocal cords create sound waves by vibrating in and out, creating disturbances in the air which send signals to the ears around you. For example, 440 Hz, also known as A4 or concert A, is the standard pitch for tuning an orchestra. If you're singing concert A, that means that your vocal cords are opening and closing 440 times per second. A lower pitch means that the vibration is slower, and a higher pitch means that it's faster. A0 is the lowest pitch on the piano, which vibrates 27.5 times per second. A6 is the highest note sung at the Metropolitan Opera, and that vibrates 1,760 times per second. There are 0 nerve endings in the vocal cords, which means that singers cannot feel these vibrations directly. Now that you know how sound is made, let's talk about how it's shaped. Resonance is the cherry on top. It's created by everything that's above the larynx, like the pharynx, the mouth, the nasal cavity, the head. These things morph the sound. One of the most obvious differences in how a person shapes the sound is whether or not they leave their mouth open or close it. Try making a sound and leaving your mouth open. Ah, ooh, oh, ah. If you left your mouth open the whole time, technically you just sang a vowel. Now, try creating a sound, but closing your mouth. Up, ash, oof. This could be closing your sound with just the lips, or it could be a combination of tongue, lips, palate, and teeth closing. Forming vowels and consonants is how we make words, but we're also expressive by changing tone quality and timbre. People affect their tone quality by making tiny adjustments in here, like focusing the sound towards the back of their head or behind their eyes or relaxing their pharynx. One of the major muscles responsible for resonance adjustment is the soft palate, which controls the airflow in and out of your nose. You can also feel your soft palate if you take a clean finger and press it against the roof of your mouth and slowly go back. At first, you'll feel a hard surface, which is your hard palate, and then it will slope up to a soft surface in the back, which is your soft palate. Quick review: there are 3 parts to creating a vocal sound: breath, phonation, and resonance. And for bonus time, here's a couple of fun things you learned inadvertently today. You learned the difference between speaking and whispering. Speaking means that your vocal cords vibrate. Whispering means you just send air through to be shaped. There is 0 pitch creation. Also, you now know that your food pipe and your breath pipe are totally separate. The esophagus is not connected to the lungs, is not connected to the larynx, is not connected to the trachea. The epiglottis sits above the larynx, making sure that food doesn't escape into the lungs. I'm so sorry to say, but drinking hot fluid doesn't directly treat your vocal cords. However, the warm fluids and swallowing muscles can massage your larynx and make it feel relaxed. And the hydration is always eventually helpful. And speaking of hydration, do continue to drink up, because next week I'm going to be talking about the physiological importance of water for your voice.